With me this morning is Vice Mayor Maggie Ballard of District Number 6. We appreciate you all for joining us. Now, in case you missed it, on Tuesday, November 5th, we will have free rides on Wichita Transit buses all day to help individuals get to the polling locations on Election Day. Again, that is Tuesday, November 5th, which also happens to be our Wichita City Council meeting in the morning. So again, we want to remind people there will be free rides on Election Day. This is one way that we work to support residents exercising their civic duty to vote. Free rides are valid for everyone riding to and from polling locations, as well as any other trips during the day. Riders do not need to provide documentation of voting to receive a free ride. Transit buses will operate on a regular weekday schedule with service hours that span the full voting hours of each polling location. For Election Day 2023, the City of Wichita provided 6,144 free rides, which is a 13% increase on Election Day ridership when compared to 2022. We have heard from our friends at the county that they expect to have a large voter turnout, and we want to help support that in any way we can. We know that election season can cause anxiety for some people, and while we urge everyone to vote, be informed and get involved. Sometimes it can be contentious and divisive, as well as stressful. I'm happy to have Eric from the Mental Health America of South Central Kansas here with us to address mental health in our community and ways to reduce stress. Eric?
Thank you, Mayor. Some of us probably can think back to a time when we have been in a car accident, and I'm curious how many of you remember what song was playing on the radio, or who was with you in the car, what intersection it might have happened at, or maybe did an open water bottle in the front cup holder splash on your hand. Certainly not all accidents are trauma-inducing. After all, trauma is just your mental response to an event for which you did not have coping skills built up at the time. And maybe the accident was minor enough that coping skills weren't needed. In the moment of trauma, our brains tend to lock on to the strangest or most seemingly random details as if to say, I'm storing this away to process later. But without proper coping mechanisms, we're often not able to safely process that situation later. And if we don't get help from a professional, that later may never come. Instead, these small details trigger that trauma weeks, months, even years after the fact. The same song comes on the radio, or we drive through the same intersection with the same person in the passenger seat, or a splash of water hits our hand from the neighbor's backyard pool, or a drop of rain from an April thunderstorm. And if these triggers only revived the memory of the accident, it wouldn't be so bad. But with unresolved trauma, these triggers don't just recall the memory of the situation, they actually recall and force us to relive our unprepared emotional response as well. And that may cause panic attacks, drastic mood changes, physical acting out, difficulty breathing, and much more. All behaviors which are perfectly understandable in the moments following a car accident, but a little harder to explain away at your neighbor's backyard pool or when driving your 9-year-old daughter to dance practice. For too long, trauma has been viewed only as the purview of military veterans. Yet an estimated 20,000 people in Wichita live with post-traumatic stress disorder every year. And about 12,000 of those 20,000 have not sought or received treatment, leaving their unknown and subconscious trigger points poised to go off at any time, in any circumstance, and for nearly any reason. Treatment of post-traumatic stress disorder does not suppress the memory. Rather, it allows us to remember that moment without forcing us to emotionally relive the moment. Experiencing trauma when someone else who lives through that same trauma doesn't make us weak. It means we experienced it differently, maybe that our life experiences were not the same as the other person. Some of you may remember the shooting at Excel Industries in February of 2016. I live 1 minute away from the intersection where that shooting occurred, where the shooter shot a woman and stole her car, and I was driving my daughter into town that night, and I couldn't turn left like I normally would because of police barricades. It was only later that evening that I found out why the barricades were there. I drive through that intersection at least twice a day, and if you think that I don't remember that evening every time I do, you are out of your mind. That trauma didn't happen to me, but I still feel it, and I don't wish that feeling on anybody. So please reach out to MHA, reach out to any mental health provider that you know of or can to get the help that you need. Thank you.
Thank you again, Eric. Really appreciate that you come here every week to share mental health tips with our community, and we appreciate the partnership with the Mental Health America of South Central Kansas. Another way we're working to make travel access easier in our community and less stressful for residents is by providing support and assistance to those with disabilities. Here to tell us more about a new initiative is Valerie Wise with the Wichita Airport Authority.
Good morning. Wichita Eisenhower National Airport is proud to announce its participation in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program, a global initiative aimed at providing support and assistance to travelers with hidden disabilities. The Hidden Disabilities Sunflower enables individuals to discreetly indicate they have a non-visible disability and may need additional assistance, understanding, or more time. By wearing a sunflower printed item, such as the lanyard that I'm wearing today, or a pin or a wristband, a traveler can communicate their needs without disclosing their specific condition, making their journey through the airport more comfortable. Globally, 1 in 7 people live with a disability, approximately 1.3 billion people. These non-visible disabilities can be physical, visual, auditory, or neurological and range from autism and ADHD to cognitive impairments such as learning difficulties and dementia, as well as mental health conditions. They can also be respiratory and chronic conditions such as asthma, diabetes, chronic pain, and sleep disorders. Since Hidden Disabilities Sunflower was established in the UK in 2016, it has been adopted globally by businesses and charities to support their colleagues and customers. Over 240 airports in over 30 countries and 17 airlines worldwide participate in this program. As part of this initiative, airport staff, airlines, and TSA have been trained to recognize the sunflower symbol and provide assistance and accommodations accordingly. Passengers with hidden disabilities can request a free sunflower item at the airport's information desk, airline ticket counters, and security screening checkpoint. Thank you.
Thank you again, Valerie. Being inclusive and ensuring we are supporting all travelers of all abilities is important as we continue to grow air service right here in the Air Capital. Next week is Halloween for many here in our community, and this weekend there are a number of trunk or treat events, including fall and Halloween festivals at Linwood Rec Center on the 25th from 6 to 8 p.m. and one at Evergreen Rec Center from 6 to 8 p.m. And of course, if you're looking for a scare, be sure to check out Wicked Island at O.J. Watson Park this weekend. These events and more can be found on the city's website and the event calendar at wichita.gov. While the community enjoys fall and Halloween events, we do want them to be safe. We have Wichita Police Officer Juan from the Wichita Police Department to discuss trick-or-treating safety tips and best practices.
Good morning, everyone. Halloween is fun and exciting, but safety should always come first. we would like to share some important safety tips for you guys to keep in mind. For parents and guardians, always accompany young children while trick-or-treating in the neighborhood. All their kids should travel in groups and have a planned route. If children will be out after dark, choose costumes with reflective materials, or you can add reflective tape to their outfits. Equip your kids with glow sticks or flashlights to make sure they are more visible to drivers and others in low light conditions. Before allowing the children to eat their treats, please inspect the candy for signs of tampering and discard any unwrapped or suspicious-looking treats. For our drivers in our community, please stay alert. Halloween events increase pedestrian traffic, especially young children who might be excited and not paying attention. Please drive slowly and stay vigilant in residential areas. Look out for children darting between parked vehicles. Please put your phones down. Avoid distracted driving. Keep your attention on the road, especially in neighborhoods and parking areas where kids are trick-or-treating or attending some of the events. For general rules, when trick-or-treating in neighborhoods, please stick to the sidewalks and use crosswalks to cross the street. Avoid jaywalking or running between parked vehicles. Try to stay in well-lit areas and only go to homes with the porch lights that are on, which is signaling that they are welcoming trick-or-treaters. And last but not least, for our furry friends, Halloween can be stressful for our pets due to noise, customs, and all the visitors. To avoid any accidents, keep pets inside or in a safe, secure area. By following these simple safety tips, everyone can enjoy a fun and safe Halloween experience. Thank you.
Thank you again, Officer Juan. And Lieutenant Shannon Ward from the Wichita Fire Department is here to discuss safe Halloween tips for the whole family.
So the biggest concern are the costumes, and we want to make sure our kids are safe. Masks can obscure vision, and long oversized costumes can be a trip hazard and brush up against decorations without being noticed. Unless labeled with a fire retardant, they are considered extremely flammable. Pay attention at homes with decorations that are using candles. Walking, not running, will prevent injuries and keep trick-or-treaters from tripping over Halloween decorations. And the fun thing about Halloween is going to all the homes and seeing all the decorations, but a lot of them are extremely flammable. So if you're using a candle, you have to make sure that they're not close to whatever you have on your porch. Having a flameless candle like this is really beneficial. You don't have to worry about it. If you leave it outside, it's going to be okay. But if you are going to use a candle, make sure it is far away, like I said, from the other decorations that are flammable on a flat, non-combustible surface. And make sure they are out of the way of walking. When children come to your door, they are not going single file because they are not in school. You with the candy dish is the equivalent of Mahomes with a football, and they are the defensive line from the 49ers. So when they're coming at you and charging at you, trying to get all the candy, you have to make sure all the decorations are to the side and not in their way. Jack-o'-lantern are one of the #1 causes of injuries when it comes to Halloween, because people are trying to carve them on uneven surfaces, and they're rushing to try to get it done. Be sure you have the correct tools to do this. You do not need a Rambo Bowie knife to carve a pumpkin. Use what you can get at the store. And the last thing is with the flashlights, that helps you see at night, but make sure that you're not raising them up, putting them into the faces of drivers and other pedestrian or other walkers, and make sure that you're not using your cell phone. That's not a very good flashlight. And I just want all parents to remember it is okay to charge your child the candy tax at the end of the night when you get home. I think it's legal in the state of Kansas and in Wichita. My kids always knew that the Mounds and the Almond Joy were coming to Mama. So we all at the fire department want you to have a safe Halloween.
It's okay, Shannon. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the safety tips from both the Wichita Fire Department and our Wichita Police Department. Again, we hope that everyone will have a fun and safe Halloween. Next, it's my pleasure to announce that I have been named as co-chair with Mayor Buddy Dyer of Orlando, Florida, to be on the Aviation Advisory Forum on Air Mobility and Drone Integration hosted by the National League of NLC. The National Advisory Forum will bring together local government leaders to provide timely and strategic advice to the federal government and aviation industry on efforts to integrate advanced air mobility, like air taxis and drones, into U.S. airspace and communities across the country. We see advanced air mobility and drone technologies as great opportunities to develop more effective connections and convenience. With globally known organizations such as Textron, the National Institute for Aviation Research, and the National Center for Aviation Training in Wichita, I'm thrilled to help lead this forum so every city in America can see the potential of integrating aviation technology into their community, and grateful to serve alongside Mayor of Orlando to represent the city of Wichita and the air capital of the world in the United States. As we get out of outdoor irrigation season, water use has dropped back down to about 45 million gallons per day. Once we get out of the 90-degree weather and temperatures stay cool consistently, we expect to see water use outdoors continue to drop, especially during the winter months. Once again, we thank everyone who is cutting back and being mindful of their water usage. And for more tips and information, please visit savewichita.com. And with that, I always end with some good news and also invite our Vice Mayor to come up to share some news from District Number 6. So I'll start with Vice Mayor Ballard.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to share a couple things that we have going on in District 6 this weekend, and also just on the other side of Douglas. So the Emerald City Tattoo Expo is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day at Century 2. Friday is No More Eats from 5 to 10. And this month, they're doing a community No More live landscape painting, so they'll be doing live painting. It's also my quarterly coffee. Public Works Director Gary Jansen will be meeting me on Saturday from 9 to 10 at the new water treatment plant. So excited for people to come ask questions, whether it's about the drought or the new water treatment plant. Mayor Wu mentioned some of the trunk or treats. I think the only one that you didn't mention that I know about is in Delano. So Friday night, they'll be passing out candy and playing games and stuff like that in Delano. And then Saturday is Cinema Under the Stars, the Halloween edition at NASCAR Park from 6 to 10. So, and Tallgrass. So find a film that interests you and support Tallgrass Film Fest. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I will echo that there is also a coffee with the Chief of Police on Saturday at 9 a.m. in District Number 2. This is something that Councilmember Becky Tuttle hosts in her district, and she invites all community members, especially those in District Number 2, to visit on Saturday at 9 a.m. at the Coffee with Wichita Police Chief Joe Sullivan. I also want to just say thank you very much to everyone who came out yesterday to the free showing of Wizard of Oz in collaboration with Tallgrass Film Festival to kick off their 22nd annual festival right here in Wichita. I'm also grateful to Wichita Music Theater of Wichita's young performer and ambassador who sang Over the Rainbow, and really grateful again to community members who are putting these free community events so that we can have gatherings that really build community pride. And with that, I will take any questions. Well, we hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and thank you all very much.